North Vancouver, you might be noticing that there's a lot more buyers coming back into the market. Well, let's get into it. This is your market update for the month of February. All right, let's get into the numbers. For Detached, we saw 264 active listings, which is actually up 24% from this time last year. And when we look at the sales, we saw that sales are down 24% at 31. Average days on market is at a whopping 50 for North Vancouver, and that's up 78% from this time last year. When we get into the benchmark pricing, we're seeing that listings are selling in and around that $2,037,000 mark, with sales to active ratio just on the cusp of a buyer's market and a balanced market. So that might mean, well, you're hearing in the market that it's a buyer's market. Well, it is, but a lot of buyers are starting to enter back into the market. So it's creating a little bit more of a buzz, and that's maybe because there's more confidence in the market when it comes to buyers. All right, now let's get into condos. We saw 295 active listings. Now, the interesting thing about condos, there hasn't really been much of a change from this time last year. We saw 37 sales. Now that is down almost 54%. But when we look at days on market, it's sitting in and around 31, with benchmark pricing at $780,000. And that really hasn't changed much from this time last year. And when we look at the sales to active ratio that measures whether we're in a buyer's market, seller's market, condos are actually sitting in a balanced market. All right, last but certainly not least, we have townhomes, or North Vancouver's affordable pricing. Now, we did see 112 active listings for townhomes, and we did see 20 sales. Now, the 20 sales has been no change, but for active listings, we're seeing more listings, almost 40% more. Now, when we go to the days on market, townhomes are sitting in and around 34. Now, that's up from this time last year. Benchmark pricing is sitting in and around $1,269,000, with that sales to active ratio on the higher end of a balanced market at 17%. Remember that threshold for a seller's market is sitting at 20. Now, if you're a buyer and you're thinking about buying, it might be a good time to start getting into the market, going to open houses, seeing what's out there. I myself, I'm getting a ton of new listings, and I'm only seeing more and more people wanting to put their home on the market and wanting to sell. So if you're a seller, maybe it might be time to think about putting your home on the market now instead of waiting for down the road. Now, if you have any questions or want to learn a little bit more, my name's Anthony Trinetti, and remember, when you're ready, call Trinetti.